To create an API workflow in UiPath, you navigate to cloud.uipath.com. Here you either click Studio on the front page, and if you don't see that, simply just click the 9 dots up here and hit Studio. That will take you to the UiPath Studio Web. Click the Create New. Pick the API workflow here, and that will open up an API workflow. This is a blank solution, so let's fill everything out step by step. First of all, we want to call this solution stock alarm to Slack solution. This is what we want to do. We want to check stock prices, and then we want to send alarm to Slacks. We will check the stock prices at an external API that exposes these stock prices. And then we will use a connector right here in the UiPath API workflow to connect to Slack, but one step at a time. First, let's find some stock prices. I go to the RapidAPI.com, public APIs. It's a free service, at least limited use, up to I think 1,000 API calls. So perfect for this tutorial. Create an account, log in, and then go to API Hub. Up here, you want to search for APIs. So here I say Y Finance, and you will find the Y Finance API with 9.9 in reviews. Here we will see the documentation. You might want to click subscribe to test up here if this is your first time. What we see here is that we have an endpoint. This is the URL where we connect to this service. What you also want to do is that we want to find a specific stock price, and we can find that over here. So in the stock right here, we want to find the stock get price, which you will find down here. So go check it. Here you will find the endpoint for that. And as you can see, we have a region US, and then we have a stock symbol. This is Apple, by the way. We also have 3 headers that we want to account for. The last one is our API key. Let's go create that solution in the UiPath API workflow. So I go back to the UiPath Studio. To find an HTTP request here, I click the plus and say HTTP. You'll find it. To the right, you will see the properties. If you don't see that for some reason, it might look like this. You can always just click the properties up here. First of all, the manual authentication, that is fine. We are setting that in the header. That is to say, this is us, and that is what the API key is used for. Then the method. If I go back here, I can see that the method is get. That is fine. Then the URL, that is the endpoint. We have that here in the documentation. So when you work with an API, you will always have some kind of documentation, and we will use that to implement everything in UiPath. Mark it and say Control C. UiPath is, by the way, sponsoring this video, which is incredible. So now I have copied the endpoint and I paste that in here. Let's say I want another stock. Let's say I want a UiPath, then I can just display their stock symbol, which is path. Then we want some headers. So here in the headers, I can click, and now I want to add my first header. The header is a key and a value, and we also had that in the documentation. I have a header here, which is the content type. Mark it Control C. Make sure you will not have the single quotation mark or the colon. Put it in here, and then we also have a value. The value is this application JSON, the format. We have it here. We say add. Now we want to add the next header. So really what creating an HTTP request here in UiPath is all about is simply just copy pasting mostly. Then UiPath incredible software handle the rest. And we will also have the last one here, which is the key. Make sure you don't expose this key. Right now, this guide is just for testing, so it's not that big of an issue. Otherwise, you want to keep this key to yourself. That's it. I can hit save. Now we can test it. We can see if this works. So if I hit debug here, then this HTTP request runs successfully. That's the beauty of it. It runs incredibly fast. And if I want to inspect, then I can, if I'm not in output, I can also click output here. Over here, you will see the output. If I go into the content, the quote summary here, then I will go into the result. I will go into 0, and then I will also have the price here. And here you will find it in the regular market price. I have the for market, and then I will also have the raw. We can decide which one of these we want to work with. So that's it. That's the one we take advantage of. So we want to send this price to Slack, and for that I need a Slack account. You can also create a free Slack account on the slack.com. You might already have one. Then I can decide which workspace I want to work in. I think we want to create a new here, and I want to say create workspace. Then we will give our workspace a name. So I can call this one Jensen org/_demo. I will not allow anyone in my organization to take that. I have a photo, that's fine. Let's call me Anders. Hit next. I will not invite anyone from this, so I'll just skip this step. And then I want to say skip step. I will not start with Slack Pro. I'll just take the limited free version. That's it. We now have everything set up. Over here to the channels, you can see all on a Jensen org demo. That's where I want to send the message to. So here we can set an alarm where we want to send a message to Slack if, for example, the price is less than $13. So I go back to the workflow. Over here, you can click plus. When we want to ask a question, we do that with an if. An if is just a question that can be answered with either true or false. So here you will see the if. And over here in the condition, if I go there and then I can click this expander, here we have the expression. What I want to do here is that I want to find the regular market price, and we want just to take the raw, that is the real stock price, not the for market price. So what I will do here is simply just to insert the variable, and the one was called regular market price. I will find it down here, and if I click it, there you have it. So I will add the .raw to it, and then I can say if that is less than 13, then this expression is true. I want to do something. So what I want to do is to say save. So if this condition is indeed true, then I can put it here, and if it's false, I can do something else. So what I do here is to say plus. Now I'm in the then, that is if the condition is true. So what I can do now is to pick connector. UiPath has set all these connectors up, for example, LinkedIn, MailChimp, Todoist, Stripe, Snowflake, Salesforce, a lot of other things. I could scroll down to Slack, or I can simply just search for Slack up here. The one you want to find is to send message to channel. Then I can go over to the right and use a previous connection or create a new. If I hit new connection, then you will see this, which is fine. Choose your workspace, that is probably default, and then I hit connect. Then Slack will ask me, is this okay? Yes, choose the right workspace here. As of now, I can only choose this, which is fine. Then I just say allow. That will allow UiPath to access Slack. I can go up here and now you can find it. So here I have the Anders.1, that is the new one I just created. In the channel name, you will see the all. Mine is called Anders Jensen org demo. We can also send a message to the channel. What I want to say here is something like the price of the UiPath stock is now. And then I also want to find the regular market price. So what I want to do here is to say regular market price, and then I can pick the raw here. So it's now, and then what it is. And then I just want to maybe have this, and that will be the message. So that's all we need. So whenever the UiPath stock is below 13, then this message will be sent. If I hit debug here, you will see that everything is successful. It's that easy to create an HTTP request and to use a connector here in the UiPath API workflow. If I go over here, you will now see that the price of the UiPath stock is now 12.165. Then I might want to buy. This is not stock advice, by the way. And also, if you see this video later in time, you might want to pick not below 13, but below 20 if the stock price has gone up. Now we can also do some error handling. Let's imagine that an error happens here. Then we want to get notified. Let's just go up to this HTTP request, and in here in the headers, let's just add a big X. So now this HTTP request will not work. Let me save here and let me show you. I can hit debug. Now you will see this fails. Nothing happened. Then I want to get notified what is wrong in our flow so we can fix it. What you want to do here is to introduce a try catch. And let me teach you what that is. Click the plus up here. Then you want to go more, try catch. So a try catch is actually fairly easy to figure out. It will try something here, and if that does not succeed, then it will go into the catch. So what I now just want to do is say try the HTTP request. Maybe I can also move everything in here. So the try is literally just what we've done before. And then I can also say, what will the catch be? We can reuse this send message, of course, with a different message. So I click the three dots here, say copy. Now when I say Control V, it will be inserted. Now we have the try catch here, and it will get inserted down here. Let's just move it into the catch. We have it right here. So this one is not the UiPath stock. Here we want to create a different message. It would be nice, let me delete this, if we have an error message here as well. So let's open up this See More and choose the text builder. This is just to have a bigger expression. To format this in a nice way, to have a nice error message, we want to use JavaScript. And again, we can go to Insert Expression. You might not know JavaScript. Luckily, we have the Autopilot down here, where I can just in natural words describe what I want to see here. So I just describe it here, and then I can say create. I really want you to try this because this is so easy, and this is one of the nice things with UiPath. There are a lot of nice things, but this, that I can use my natural words. I don't need to be a developer anymore. That creates a nicely formatted error message from the variable, and then I can choose the error variable under the HTTP request. You can see it here. I just go pick that one here, and then I can say use new line to separate information. That is, I want to have it nicely formatted. And in case you like the information in this video, please give it a thumbs up. That will really help me and my channel a lot. With that in place, simply just send it, and Autopilot will create the JavaScript for us. This is extremely nice. So what we then want to do is simply just to click save here and save here. That's it. Let's go test it. So if this goes well, then this will fail and it will send a message to the Slack channel. So now you will see that this is successful. And if I go back here, then you will see here we have an error title, failed to execute, HTTP call, you're not subscribed to this API, and we have a nice error message. That means that me as a developer can go back and fix it. So if I go back here, I could go back to the HTTP request, go into the headers, remove this X, say save, and then go debug it again. Success, success, success. This is not running, and if I go back here, you will see that we now have the price. Your next advanced UiPath video is right here. See you.